and welcome to the first ever UW-DECA Podcast. My name is Tayler Jones, and I am the VP of Competition and your host today. I would like to welcome our guest to the podcast. He's a longtime DECA member and this year's president of Wisconsin Collegiate DECA, Devontae Sisk. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
All right, Devontae. For our listeners, would you be able to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
I would love to. So I'm originally from Belleville, Wisconsin. I'm currently a junior here at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. And in my past involvement on campus, I've done UW-DECA in the collegiate version. I've helped out with Pride in Business, the Impact, the Homecoming Steering Committee, which when I was in was DECA's fourth year, and they got to keep the trophy, and I was just so proud even though I was unaffiliated. I've also been involved in Latinos Unidos, Dream Swellers and Colleagues, AMA for my freshman year, as well as the Nylon Swellers Lit. Some things that I like to do when I'm not working on DECA stuff is I love doing costume design and hairstyling, but that's just for my creative outlook.
That's so awesome. I love that you're so involved on campus. It's crazy how you can balance your schedule. It's amazing. All right, so we're going to move into a little bit of a lightning round, get to know you. There's going to be 3 questions. So the first question is, if you could live anywhere in the world for 1 year, where would you live and why?
I would have to say New York City, because I want to be able to live in a place where I can look around and everyone's running at the same pace I am. And I know even now I'm working 2 part-time jobs and a full credit load, and I like to stay involved, but I want to be able to go to a place and see someone running past me doing way more than I am.
That's so awesome. I think it's also a motivation to see other people around you doing the same thing.
Keep yourself surrounded by those who do better than you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, awesome. Okay, so the next question is, what celebrity would play you if your life was turned into a movie?
I would want someone who's a community activist, so then when people see it, they're who is that? And they look them up and realize everything they've done for the community. So I'd have to say someone like Candace Kane.
Yeah, I looked her up. Very cool what she's doing and everything that she's done. She's been in a ton of TV shows, ton of movies, and she's also so involved in the community. All right, next question. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would you eat?
So I would say the one food is something that my family makes all the time, and it'd be carne asada, and it's just amazing. Every time I think about it, my mouth waters, and I'm ooh!
Okay, so moving on to more DECA things, how did you get involved in DECA?
So I joined DECA early on in my high school career, and then I worked my way up to being head of my chapter. I was also in charge of our retail lab through the school store, which I know a lot of people are DECA is this, school store is that, but my chapter is one of the ones that integrated both. So I was helping out in both the chapter and the store.
That's so awesome. Yeah, it's good to have that DECA involvement in the school store. It was the same way with mine, and I think it was a cool way to get a hands-on experience.
Yes, 100%. I absolutely loved it.
All right, so what is your favorite DECA memory from high school, collegiate, whatever you want?
So I have to say, I absolutely love this question. I remember one of my advisors asked me this last year, and I'd have to say my favorite memory from DECA would have to be when I polar plunged with Cynthia Lar. So my chapter was really small, and we only raised enough money for 2 people to jump, but it was amazing, and it was a great cause. But that was from my high school career. But in my collegiate DECA career, I'd have to say my absolute favorite memory, without doubt, would have to be when I saw Emily Hayden dressed up as a clown when we volunteered at a haunted house. And I know some of you may not know who that is, but she used to be UW-Whitewater's Collegiate DECA's president. I love her, and I loved being able to see her run around in that clown suit.
That was very fun. What did you dress up as? What did they dress you up as and have you do?
I went 2 years. 1 year I was a skeleton.
Okay.
And I think I was running around a jail.
Okay.
This last year I went a couple times, and what did they put me as? It was something spooky with just bones in my face. And I was all white, but then little pieces of just scary. It was just so much fun.
So much fun. I loved screaming the entire night and everything. I lost my voice. Okay, so on to more the competition side of DECA. What do you compete in or have competed in the past?
So I know that when we're making eye contact right now, you know that I've competed in way too many things. and like the list goes on. And every single year I like to like make it a little bit different, see what I can do and see what I can do better in. So far, I want to say I've competed in human resource management, restaurant and food service management, quick serve restaurant management, business ethics, business research, retail management, corporate finance, remember that because I got second place at state, event planning, sports and entertainment marketing, because I remember that from freshman year with him, and then the stock market challenge, which is absolutely fun. I don't know if you consider that part of competition, but I'm like, it's still there.
No, that's awesome. I love how you like diversified your DECA skills. I think that's really awesome because people tend to think, oh, my major's this and I have to do what my major is, which is so untrue because this is a time where we can experiment and see what we're good at and what we like and what we don't like.
Absolutely. And like, I'm not even a business major, which I'm the state president for a business organization and I'm an education major. So I'm all about like the non-traditional experiences for DECA and like getting that hands-on experience or at least realizing what you could do.
I agree. So out of the things that you have competed in, what has been your absolute favorite?
Personally, here at the collegiate level, I absolutely love doing the business research project just because you get to work with the business. And I did it with one of my businesses I worked at, and I was able to like talk to the owner and figure out like a marketing plan for them and realized they had nothing on the internet. I got to help them and it was just like so much fun because like they love seeing me and I love seeing them and building that relationship more.
That's so awesome. I love when you can translate DECA into actually doing something for a business or doing something for somebody.
Yes.
All right, so kind of staying on the same wavelength, what are some of your biggest DECA competition tips?
I would have to say my first tip would be not to be too hard on yourself because I know as soon as I walk out of the room, I'm like, okay, I failed that. Or like I'll get the results back after the debrief and the person will go like, so this is what I was looking for. I didn't get it. And I'm automatically like, okay, they're talking about me. And I realize the judge is just talking about like everyone in the group. But I'd say my second one would have to be performance indicators, performance indicators all throughout high school and all throughout the collegiate division. It's always hammered in that like, read them, get to know what they are and understand them. And I just think as long as you hit every single performance indicator, you've done the best you can. In like all honesty, I also want to bring this into my next point. I would have to say like, don't read directly off your notes because like even as a judge, because Whitewater offers BMEA judging, so like as a member, you can help judge other people. You realize how hard it is to make eye contact with the person that's presenting when they are looking down the entire time. It's really awkward, but even for you, when you keep looking at it, you stumble and you're like, oops, so sorry, I just messed that up. And you're like, if I wasn't looking, I could just keep talking and play it off. But also, going back to that judging thing, like when we're judges, something I've noticed that I absolutely do not like is when someone's not confident in their choices. And when you get them to question their word or like get them to change their mind. As a competitor, you have to be able to present your idea and not say, maybe I'm wrong. Because when you're presenting to like the CEO or the CFO and you're like, I might be wrong, I'm like, why am I going to spend many $1 million paying you to do it incorrectly? Do you know what I mean, Taylor?
I agree. I totally agree. I think that's something that a lot of people can get tripped up on, especially in something like business ethics where they're really challenging you to go back on your word. I think it's important to stick with your ideas, even if the judge is questioning you or kind of pulling you in a different direction.
Yes, and my last point would have to be to use a graphic because even when we're just sitting in a meeting, if there's a graphic, it pulls focus from you so you can like have a little bit of second to breathe. If everyone's looking at this, you can point to it, you can do something with your hands. It's just very reliable because it also gives the judge something else to look at and something to focus on. They're not going to look at it the whole time. They're only going to spend like a little portion, but it still gives you the upper hand.
I agree. I totally agree. And like you said, it takes a little bit of pressure off of you with the constant eye contact from the judge. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. What is the most important thing that DECA has taught you?
So I'd have to say that DECA has taught me how to network and how to present myself. I think that when given DECA, the individual has been given countless opportunities to get involved with the hands-on learning experiences that DECA offers.
I totally agree. I think that I have learned how to network so much better than when I was a little freshman in high school and I didn't know how to talk to other people or have conversations. I think DECA has been a really important learning opportunity for a lot of students. Yeah. All right. So we talked about some skills that we have learned. How have you used skills that you have gained from DECA in your professional life or even your everyday life?
So I would have to say that through my coming up on 6 years of DECA, I've been able to learn how to use my voice. Public speaking is a skill that many people are afraid to master, and I know that I have a lot of work left when it comes to speaking, but I've come a long way. I encourage everyone to find their path and to make their mark. I have never been able to public speak, and then just getting involved with DECA has just taught me how, those crucial skills.
I 100% agree. I was definitely not a public speaker. I did not like it. What is that statistic where they say, people fear public speaking more than death? Very crazy, but I think DECA has definitely helped me to become a better public speaker, and like you said, definitely not the best, but you know what? I can actually get up there and not be terrified to do something. So I think that's a really important skill to point out. So moving on to number 9 and a little bit more about your position as president. What are your main goals that you would like to accomplish as president of Wisconsin Collegiate DECA?
I absolutely love this question. This year has been non-traditional with everything going on, and I'm not going to name everything just because it's so big. But I want to further prepare our DECA members by keeping them focused on community engagement, professional development, and leadership development. I want our DECA students to be able to better themselves in a time where it's definitely needed. Even as we're all just getting through school, we're all looking for jobs. We want to make sure we're the best, we're that DECA excellence that we have to offer.
I totally agree. And I'm so excited that you put community engagement in yours, because I think that's the part of DECA that can get overlooked, because while competition is so important and so big and so amazing, I think that volunteer aspect and the community engagement aspect is also a really huge and important part of DECA.
Yes, going along with community engagement, I think civic consciousness is another one that's often overlooked, even at the chapter level or state level. It's just something that we do great on, but we can always do better, because through DECA, we can always do better.
All right, staying with a little bit of your position, what are you most excited about as president?
Okay, I love networking. So previously, I've been following the other chapters, but now I'm in a position where I can connect on a little bit more of a deeper level. I'm not just that person from Whitewater. But if we've met, or if you would like to meet, always just look me up on LinkedIn. My only rule is that you must remain positive and professional. This I pulled from my marketing professor, John DeGraff, which I know if you're a Whitewater student listening, you have most likely taken John DeGraff. But LinkedIn is not Facebook, and we should all keep that in mind as we continue to produce content.
I have to say, Devontae, your LinkedIn is one of my favorites. It's amazing because you continue to push out content that's both, I think, fun and still you, but also professional. I love the amount of content that you put out and the pictures that you put out. I think it's so fun and awesome to keep up on what you're doing, not only in Whitewater, but also in your professional life.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so last question. Anything else that you would like to add today?
So, Taylor, I want to ask you something. What was the driving factor in creating this UW Collegiate DECA podcast?
So I would have to shout out Minnesota DECA because they created a podcast. And as you mentioned before, Emily Hayden, the former president of Whitewater Collegiate DECA, she texted some of the members and was like, hey, this would be a really cool opportunity to get connected with members. So I decided, hey, why not try it? And I'm really excited to see what the members think. And I think it's a cool way to, like I said, get connected in these really crazy virtual times. So I think that was the main driving factor.
Oh my goodness, thank you. And I absolutely love that.
Devontae, I really appreciate you coming and talking with me today. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we wrap things up for today, I just wanted to remind our UW-Whitewater DECA members to pay your dues so that you can get involved with competition and volunteer activities. Also, a quick reminder that meetings are at 5:15 on WebEx, and we can't wait to see your faces there. So thank you for listening, everybody. I hope that you learned a little bit about your Wisconsin Collegiate DECA president, Devontae Sisk, and what DECA can do for you. If you would like more information on what is going on at Whitewater Collegiate DECA, please visit our website at uwwdeca.com. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.